wasting that energy away. It was just really, really phenomenal. I thought that the QXC send match was good, and then, of course, one comes in and says, I'll take that #1 position for best game we've seen so far.
Thank you very much. You know, what's so funny to me about this is that people tend to start seeing lots of patterns and repetitions in players, and they'll see things like, oh yeah, big Marine Marauder forces, that's the norm in Terran vs. Protoss. That's the usual, standard, typical thing. And then any deviation from that, people consider like trash, you know, like if I decided to just go, you know, mass Reaper or something like that, they would laugh and say, ha ha ha, you're just trying to rub it in his face. But Jinro getting the triple nuke play,
wow,
and brilliantly using it to just chip farther and farther forward in those expansions. Rarely ever do you see someone get an unorthodox unit, or I guess, yeah, I'll call a nuke a unit, getting an unorthodox unit like a nuke, and using it correctly as you can see. It was amazing to see that happen.
It's proof yet again that it doesn't have to be something that must get, you know, a ton of damage done or must kill a ridiculous amount of units. We've seen these better players actually use it more to gain a better advantage, whether that be defensively, like we saw TLO do it before, or whether that be offensively, like we just saw Jinro use it on Desert Oasis.
Very, very cool, or almost defensively as Torch did when his Ghost was at 5 health and the Banelings were coming in.
The best failed nuke ever.
Oh, that was just awesome.
And here we go, guys. We're loading up the first game of EGIdra versus LiquidNazgul. One of the tournament favorites here. He won MLG DC, was top 16 for GSL Season 2, and now is here to try to take another championship title at the MLG Pro Circuit for Starcraft 2.
Now, people tend to think of Nazgul as the sentient, omnipotent force that rules over the land of Team Liquid. But as a matter of fact, Nazgul, for any of you who have not had his history lesson, did go to Korea for many years, way back in the 2003-2005 era, one of the first ever professional gamers in South Korea, played as Protoss back then, one of the few left-handed players to even participate in one of the Challenge League tournaments. And every time he would take a long break from practicing, he would come back and 2 weeks later be beating the top Korean pros. An absolutely amazing RTS mind, known for playing surprisingly slow, but apparently in StarCraft 2 his APM has managed to work its way up to 188, as we see right here, and we haven't seen him much in StarCraft 2 since the beta, but he is a force to be reckoned with when he has had the practice.
And of course, EGIdra doesn't need that much of an introduction from Team Evil Geniuses, won the last MLG event. Certainly a player who has been a heavily favored and a fan favorite as a foreigner representing the United States and representing the foreign StarCraft 2 community as well. Of course, more and more players adding themselves to that roster, that increasing roster, and we do actually see the pool going down before the hatch here for Idra.
Looks like Idra has had enough cannon rushes. He doesn't want to even think about it and is going to throw down the pool right away. Meanwhile, Nazgul doing the very usual gateway gas, but interestingly enough, not blocking his ramp in any regard. Almost always you see players beginning to shut that off. Idra now moving cross-map towards the bottom left. We'll be spotting Nazgul again, our top seed Idra, as the red Zerg in the north position, LiquidNazgul on the left as the blue Protoss, just now finishing the gateway. There's the cybernetics core going down, and I am still a little surprised that there's no wall in.
And Idra's going to go in and get a good look at what's going on in LiquidNazgul's base. Drone comes in, slips through these probes over here, sees the gas, sees the second gas, and of course sees the Psy-Core going down as well. No unit coming out of that gateway. There's a pylon at the ramp, so we'll see how that is going to develop out, but still no units coming out here. Both players skirting by with as minimal offensive units as they possibly can.
So it looks like Idra is not really making any lings more than one larva. Nazgul just going to let Idra know that he doesn't own those mineral fields. Anyone can get there. He's going to mine a little bit of bling for himself and take that on home. Now this is very Idra-esque. I'm just going to make 2 lings all game long, and I'm going to power drones until I'm blue in the face. Even though, of course, he is the red-seeded player. And that is a very good technique just to get enough Zerglings to deny the scouting, to just get rid of any little nuisance at the start of the game, and to get that economy going. Cannot emphasize enough how smart that is.
And so now we have the wall off kind of forming here for Nazgul. He's got his gateway at the front. He put down the forward pylon, followed that up with his second gate. Got another stalker coming out, and of course warp gate tech is about 50% done. I believe he's got second queen coming out here for Idra. He took the first one from his main hatch, moved it down the expansion, and then he'll have one pop out at the main yet again. Now where is he going from there? Ling speed is up, and he's moving a spine crawler down to the front just as a couple of stalkers come knocking on the door.
Very nice timing here by Idra getting that spine crawler up, but also very nice timing by Nazgul moving forward with a little bit unusual set of units, 2 stalkers. They are extremely fast, so he's going to try to micro them to the best of his ability. And what do we see back in the base? We even see a Twilight Council going down, so it looks like a large blink play incoming by LiquidNazgul. He loves controlling those blink stalkers oh so well. Idra now throwing down a Roach Warren, and because of these close positions is feeling a little bit cramped right from the get-go.
Yeah, Roach Warren is about 50% as well. That'll be coming up here very, very soon. In the meanwhile, more drones. Blink just started. Speed's at 70%. Getting his overlords out and just kind of getting ready to build that army. This is the point where Zerg wants to put forward, you know, that army is, because you can see that the Protoss is ready to do just that.
And see, little things that Nazgul does makes him such a strong player. Walling himself in with pylons, because obviously he can blink out, but then hiding a probe down here for when he's ready to expand. Doesn't want to have to worry about destroying one of his own pylons at that phase, and even hiding some stalkers. Very smart. At the same time, we see Idra poking up to the high ground, probably going to be a little bit surprised. And in the unit production, ooh, I think Idra knows what's up. He is making a lot of units. We see roaches and zerglings coming out instead of drones.
Yeah, exactly. It's 2 more, a bunch of Zerglings coming out as well. We do not have any Lair going down yet. I think he's just going to go ahead and continue to get the units out. There we go. Lair is popping just right now, and so he'll get that tech started. And more Lings coming out. Remember, speed has popped as well, so there go the stalkers down the ramp, and it'd be a perfect time to attack after, of course, they've just blinked. But he's got a pretty sizable army here.
This is a lot of stalkers. We see 12 stalkers, a 13th being morphed in, a probe popping out. Again, to do some forward pyloning. There it's getting ready to go down. Idra rearranging that spine crawler. Does take a while to burrow, though, and the roaches are now beginning to advance forward, but there's a lot of Lings en route for Idra. He has a good mix of roaches and those Lings, and this one spine crawler is really putting a damper on Nazgul's aggression.
Yeah, he wants to move forward. He's got to be careful with that. Those spine crawlers do a ridiculous amount of damage to those stalkers. Of course, nice blink micro. As soon as that as soon as the shield of the stalker starts to move back, he of course blinks them back. And look at the numbers growing here. Lings are going to go in, try to go for the surround, but put themselves in the corner. Great positioning.
And I don't know if Nazgul's going to have enough room to micro. He definitely isn't taking hits from that many angles. But look at him just carefully microing around these stalkers one at a time in cramped circumstances, and somehow manages to come out on top. That is the pro gamer micro Nazgul is known for. Now beginning to do damage to this spine crawler. It is going to be able to fall down, and we see nothing but Zerglings getting made by Idra. He is trying to get into somewhat of a good position, but look at this. He is going to just slice micro all these weakened stalkers to the back, doing insane amounts of damage. But this is somewhat of an all-in by Nazgul. Idra is not out yet.
No, he's got a lot more Lings coming. Here come a few more down the ramp and a few roaches as well. He's going to try to continue to get the surround. However, Nazgul continuing to reinforce this army and also blinking back all of those herd stalkers, doing a phenomenal job here as the roaches do get taken out there one by one. He's still got a few left. Now going after the queen and the drones there.
Oh, the queen falls, and at the same time he's continuing to blink back. I don't think he's lost a stalker in quite some time. There's one of his first losses, but now the drones are coming into the fight. Nazgul, having stunning micro, takes the win. Nazgul with an amazing feat right there. Idra, who has a reputation for being all-in proof, managing to get all-in.
That was very impressive there by, okay, Greg's has already given me the next map. It didn't need to take him too long.
Would it by chance be Scrap Station?
It might actually be.
I'm a clever fellow.
Yes. Yes, very. I mean, talking not only about the numbers of Nazgul that he had right there, very nice, but more importantly, his micro was great. And even being blocked into the corner, the Zerglings came in. He would just move them to the other side, behind where the roaches were attacking them. So he was really doing a lot with the very minimal amount of real estate that he had to work with.
And what was so amazing to me about that micro is that it was very, very meticulously done. I mean, with that sort of control, most people just box an area of stalkers and warp 4 back at a time and 3 back at a time, but it was always 1 at a time, 1 at a time, 1 at a time. Very, very specific control, and he had, I would say, the hardest time killing off even a single stalker. It was amazing to me how long Nazgul was able to keep all of them alive.
So Nazgul busy. Is he in? He's waiting for our invite again. Same thing happened.
Yeah, there's a glitch where if you try to invite from that, it won't let you, so you have to do it from the friends list.
I got you, and I don't know that I actually have him, so let me just add him here real quick.
Now, Scrap Station is going to be a real test of Nazgul's late game. He's even been doing a lot of blink antics from the early stages of the gameplay in the beta, and it works on one base versus one base, maybe on Temple if he could get it up on the high ground or something like that, or in these positions on Metalopolis, but on Scrap Station, it's almost guaranteed to be a long-term, so Nazgul's going to need to have a very evolved plan.
All right, looks like both players are ready. Let's do this. Scrap Station, map number 2. Could we have a epic upset here?
That would be
Idra sent down to the losers bracket.
Insane upset. And look at Nazgul. He's left-handed, one of the only left-handed players at